What's going on? Decided to make a new set that I'll be filming later, but also in the process decided why not film arranging and making track one and kind of highlight how I do arrangements on the MPC with building a set in mind. So yeah, if feeling into it, I might document or, film all the parts of this set before I throw it together. Might not, depends on how lazy I am this month. But yeah, here's track one, part one. So I downloaded a couple chords that I liked off of Splice, and they sound like this. As you can hear, that third one has a little too much upper frequencies, so I went ahead and put this filter on there already, rolling off, after 2K, and it sounds like this now. Definitely fits in a lot better. So I'm going to get an arrangement of that tracked out, but first I like to lay down just kind of like a kick drum to kind of act as my metronome, because that metronome just drives me crazy. So, you know the drill. Let's go to bar one. That is the wrong pad. So let's make sure I have the right pad selected. There it is. All right. So now we got something to keep me in beat while I'm tracking these chords. So let's get something going. That's cool. If you already guessed, I kind of already came up with that chord progression before I hit record. So I know I want to add some glue to this, and I'm going to go to my trusted Microcosm for that. I have it set to the pattern 1 preset and just kind of mess with all the different knobs, Kind of can't go wrong with the Microcosm, really. I mean, you can't overdo it, but I always like it. So let's bring that in. Sure it's on. There it is, instant flavor. Without it, with it. Yep. So just kill the tails real quick. So what I like to do when I'm doing arrangements or building a song is I like to kind of build the main part all at once, and then as I arrange, I'll, take elements away for like the intros and the verses and the drops and so forth and so on. So what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be building, like I said, that main section here. So let's get some more drums going now that I have those chords laid down. So as you can see, I already have a drum set kind of set up with some samples that I picked out. The kick, snare, little hat percussion that I made with some ping pong delay, open house hat. I did find this percussion loop also on Splice that I chopped up a little bit into 2 pieces and cut off kind of like this middle section, but that's like the main and the second half. And a little effects and a crash. So yeah, let's get some things going. Quanti is always helping me out. I don't want to add that last percussion just yet. So, well, just undid everything I did in that pass. So let's do it again. Okay. Back to where I was before I messed it all up with undo. But, yeah, so I want to get out of this 2-bar loop. I want to make it an 8-bar because I'm going to be doing some different things with the bass, some different things with the percussion, and, you know, a 2-bar loop is just going to be redundant and repetitive. So, hop up to my sequence menu in the MPC, and I'm just going to double length twice to go from 2 to 8. And now I'm going to lay in that percussion with a kind of a change ups that I couldn't do on the 2-bar loop that I had going before. So, 2, 3, 4. There it is. Let's move on to some bass. I'm gonna use the Moog for this. Check my notes real quick. We're in C minor. Octave, should I be on 1 or 2? 1 or... Stay on 1. Do something like that. That works. Alright, let's go to a lead now, or a little extra flavor on top. I kind of had the Volca FM set up for this here. Let's see, I am going to have to change the octave of my notes, I think. Plucky preset, but that velocity's too hot. Yeah, something like that. I want something just simple, just ear candy in the background. Yeah, I do want to. So I do have a send from my mixer back there from the Volca FM to my carbon copy here. There you go, you hear it? All right. Yeah, let's go with something like that. That's cool. It's all kind of working together, bouncing around each other now. And I did have a vocal sample. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. So sorry. So that's... Right on. Let's warp that, make sure it's in the tempo. We are in C minor. This is registering as a key of F minor. I am using an F minor chord in there, so when I was playing around with it earlier, I didn't really have to change the key. It sounds good in the mix, so let's get it going. That FM is a little loud. Let me turn that down. All right, so I dig that for like a main section. So now let's kind of get to arranging and making this more interesting than just a looping 8-bar loop. So I'm going to copy this sequence later in the track so I can go back to it when I need it. I don't know, let's put it like on pad 8 or something just so it's out of the way. Copy, do it. And now let's go back. So see, you have main here, main there. I'm going to go back to main 1 and just change this, and let's make like kind of like an intro out of it. So basically I'm going to take away everything that I just did to make an intro. So that vocal that was just there, not going to need that anymore. The Volca stuff, zoom out and find it, not going to need these for this. So if I can select it, that would be great. All right, and let's just move down the line to the bass. Don't need bass right away. So cut all that. Miss any notes? Nope. And now we're gonna leave the chords because I kind of want the song to open up with that. But let's go into the drums. So I don't want you, don't want you, don't need you, don't need you, don't need you, and don't need you. All right, so 8 bars. Like I said, I kind of maybe want to start dry and then bring that in. Kind of like slowly fade it in for the intro. Yeah, so then I think, well, let's name this section real quick. We'll do, since this is track 1, I name it 01 and then whatever the part is. So 01, this is going to be chords only, just in case I ever want to jump back to it later. And I know how I like to do my sets, so I kind of set them up this way, and you know, that way I don't have to go back and change anything. It's already kind of set up for my sets. So starting with sequence 1, chords only, I know I'm going to be just doing chords for that intro little bit there. And when I'm jumping around scenes for my live set, I can always go back to chords only if I ever want that as like a little bridge or something. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what the song calls for. So I'm going to copy that to number 2. And let's just call this, you know, intro. Because I already know that 1 is chords only. Intro, let's bring in the kick drum or something or some other elements. So intro to sequence 2, do it. All right, so for this, I kind of want the kick drum to start going in. We are on an 8-bar loop, so let's make sure I have the right pad selected. And step sequencer, let's just lay them in there. Just jump in between the bars and putting a kick drum on every downbeat. There we go. So now yep. Then I'm probably going to have this little thing come in here. So yeah, I'll probably actually have, you know, the snare drum come in too, but I'll leave them muted. Yeah, and then I'll unmute them live to kind of, so I don't have to have another sequence. So just bear with me real quick. I'll show you what I mean. 2, 3, 4. So, yeah, so like when I jump into this, I'll probably have, you know, these muted, and then I'll unmute them to get that, to build the intro up. So this is kind of what I have in my mind here, and I'll show you. So we'll start chords only. I'm going to be going to this scene after. Kind of filter this in as a build. Into that next scene, hop over to my mutes. So when it comes back around, I'll unmute the hats and the snares when I want. This is kind of what I do in my live set. I can live trigger things and whatever. Bring in that hi-hat. Then bring in the snare. Yeah, so the next sequence I'll probably have, you know, the bass come in. So hop up to this, copy my sequence to sequence 3, and let's name this like bass verse. Oh, let me get a space in there. 01 bass verse. This touchpad is kind of sensitive and not sensitive all at once. All right, so got my intro copied over. So now I'm gonna just track that bass riff. Oh yeah, I gotta get back down. 2, 1, and let's lay that in there. Yeah, and that'll go. And then after that, kind of have like a like a bridge or kind of like a quick dropout before we get everything started going and bringing that energy back, or starting that energy. I haven't had any real energy yet, but let's copy. No, not that one. I want to go to chords only. Let's copy that scene. 2, 4, and let's just name this 01. I'm just going to call it bridge. There we go. And I think this is where I'll bring in that vocal sample real quick. So let's just lay that. We'll just have that little section, drop the drums out real quick, and then, yeah, we'll hop into like everything kind of starting to build up together. So, and this is why I like kind of arranging everything first and then copying and removing, because then you could just grab these scenes, copy and paste them where you want, and add the elements or take away the elements as you want. So let's take the bass verse real quick, because that has the most. And I guess I could copy the main section and then take away. Yeah, let's do that. We'll take the main section, copy sequence, and where do we want to go? Yeah, we want to go right after the bridge. We'll name this verse 1. Do do it. All right, so I don't want the vocals to come right back in there, so I'm gonna cut that, kind of slowly build that back in. I know I don't want the Volca going just yet, so let's take those away. Let's make sure I got all them notes. Yep. And then with the drums, let's see. I think we're good there. Yeah, only I want to have a crash, that crash hit on that one. Yeah, so let's just check that real quick. Let's go from the bridge into that verse just to see if we have too much going on. Style this. Yeah, that's not too much yet. So let's copy that to the next verse or the next scene, and we'll just add more elements back in. So copy sequence number 6. Yep, let's just name this verse 2. Do it. All right, so what elements are we going to bring back in here? Well, I should have probably, whatever. Should have probably copied the main and taken stuff away. Yeah, let's do that, sorry. Let me select that, and let's just clear this out. Yep, clear it. And now let's go to the main, copy that one. We want just double checking so I don't delete anything. Yep, and we'll name this verse 2. Do it. All right, so I know I don't want the vocals to come in yet, so let's make sure that's kind of taken out again. All right, so this part should just have the Volca coming in, but yeah. Yep. But I know I want to kind of transition from these two. So let's see what we can do here, kind of with the drums. And I'm going to be in the tail end of this. Probably take out a kick. Don't want that. Yeah, just kind of have a cutout. Here. Should just have the snare hit with that little perk. Yeah. Yep, that'll transition into this next part pretty well. Bringing that FM in. But I do want to change up the kick pattern just a little bit. Down to bar 1, pad select. Just do like a little, no, this one. We'll bring down that a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, kind of hear what I'm doing here. Let's bring them in together. So this is that verse 1 going into verse 2. Yep. Changes it up a little bit. Adds a little flavor. Yeah, so next section, I do want to keep that kick stutter in there. and I just want to bring in that vocal sample. So I'll copy this verse. Again, copy sequence there. Let's just call this verse 3. Do it. Do it. And let's bring in that vocal. There it is. All right. So, had to restart the camera. I forgot I started a take earlier and just completely whiffed it, so I just decided to reset and keep going, but the camera already was recording for like 10 minutes, and these DSLRs, once my 30 minutes is up, my 30 minutes is up, so it cut me off. So, let's just pick it up from where we left off. I was about to explain that I like to kind of use these SB404 effects to kind of glue all the songs of the set together. There's only one song in the set right now, but might as well turn it on and kind of let you hear what I normally do. I like to use the vinyl sim. You can hear that kind of vinyl crackle. There's going to be some flux and flutter going on, and it kind of just glues all those tracks together. So now let's go back to the scenes and kind of arrange or play the arrangements that I laid out. Yeah, and you kind of get a glimpse as to what I like to do live. Having all these scenes laid out this way, I can jump to any one at any point. So if I want to keep a track going, we can. As I didn't explain it, but we have 7 scenes kind of set up, ready to go for track 1. I like to leave this last pad here, pad 8, with every song kind of open to bridge or transition between the current track and the next track. So I'll have elements from this track in there and bring in elements from the next track in there, and kind of use that pad as like a DJ transition effect, so everything's seamless and, no dead air going. But yeah, let's play this whole song now. I do remember that I want the microcosm turned down. I'll bring that in as kind of a transition effect. Let's go to my intro. I remember I want to keep those certain drum elements muted, the snare and that. So I think we're good. Let's get it going. Now I can choose what I want to unmute and when to unmute it, so I'm going to bring in the hats first. Next, I'll bring in the snares. And let's hop over to that next sequence to bring in the bass. And into the bridge. Bring a little bit more microcosm in. Then we'll snap it out for the verse. On to verse 2. Into verse 3. Let's do a little cutoff. When I play live, I mess around with these SB404 effects a lot. Keep things interesting. We'll just go back into the bridge after this to end it, just for the sake of this video. there you have it. That's how I arrange sets, and maybe stay tuned. You'll see a track 2 part 2, or maybe I'll be lazy and just release the whole set. Who knows? But thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me through the DSLR issue, and yeah, hope you dug it.